Chapter 837, Luffy versus Biscuit Bronson. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Podcast. It's me, best guy ever, and as always here, it's my bestest buddy, Hypocrite.
I am also here.
And we're talking about the new chapter, Chapter 837, Luffy versus Commander Cracker. Who's a real... Wait, Commander Cracker? Oh, right, okay, he's Commander Cracker, who's the Biscuit Man.
Yeah, the
Cracker
biscuit...
the Biscuit Boy, right.
Cracker the Biscuit Knight.
Okay, right.
Who's with a pretzel sword.
He's got a pretzel sword, and he does
So he's
the
a very
pretzel roll.
he's a savory sort of guy.
He is, which I didn't expect to see. I thought everyone was going to be just sweets, but I'm glad that Big Mom has a balanced palate. Or somewhat balanced, anyway. It's all carbs, but whatever. So he does a lot of fighting. He does a lot of fighting in this chapter, which is pretty cool. He's got some multiplication thing going on. That's you know what I liked in particular. So he's got this multiplication power thing, and it might have just there's this other guy in the Marines who I think ate like a spider devil fruit. Remember that guy during the big war who was holding like 8 swords with his like hair spider arms, just like a vice admiral guy doing that. Anyway,
Can't quite remember, but yeah.
his power was like never really explained, but I think Oda went out of his way here, which I'm really glad. I'm praising him for this. That like. He went out of the way to say, like, this is the one-of-a-kind, unique pretzel sword. It's the best ever. And then, like, he has, like, 8 of them. So Oda, it's like Oda's telling us, like, see, guys, he can multiply. And I like it when he does that sort of thing. He's got, like, 4 legs. He's got, like, 8 arms. He's a multiply man. It's awesome.
Yeah,
it's cool.
It's a cool fight. Luffy has quite a difficulty with him. Even with, like, Elephant Gun, Gear 3rd, with Haki.
Yeah, it didn't do shit.
Which,
and,
I've got to be honest, is kind of not that cool that at the end he uses Gear 4 to just beat him in one hit. Because it the reasoning is that now Gear 2nd and Gear 3rd are like unbelievably less powerful than Gear 4th, and there's like hardly any reason to use them anymore because Gear 4th is like so obviously the only superpower that he has. Like, you can't just switch him out for different situations. It's Gear 4th or nothing for the biggest enemies, it seems.
Yeah. Well, that's entirely true. There's not really a lot of tactical reason to not go straight for Colin Gun. Like, I guess it's... Like, Oda put, like, when he uses it, he gets really weak for a while and, like, can't stretch or something afterward. But, like, nobody cares. It doesn't matter. Yeah, it's true. It's like when Goku gets Super Saiyan 2, like, why would he ever go Super Saiyan 1 ever again? That's
I mean, the thing
point.
about the Super Saiyan is, like, Super Saiyan 2 looks about the same, so it's not even a thing.
Okay, well, Super Saiyan 3, whatever. Super Saiyan 3, then.
I guess.
That's entirely true, and I'll give you that. But, I don't mind it so much. Well, okay, I agree with you that it's annoying that, like, Gear 2nd, which was this awesome thing for so long, has definitely lost utility relative to Luffy's overall power. But what I really did love about the end of the chapter and having Luffy use Konga to beat Biscuit was Luffy is having a really tough time fighting this Biscuit dude, fighting Cracker, Commander Cracker. And it's obvious he's getting the shit kicked out of him. And he specifically says, I think it was this chapter, like, this guy has the strongest Bushoku or armament hockey I've like ever seen, and he was in the war, he was in the fucking war, so this guy is fucking tough. He's really painted to be super strong, and Luffy is fucking losing. Even Elephant Gun doesn't do shit, and the fact that he has to, he uses Gear 4th and like instantly beats him with Kong Gun, and that's fine. It's just the fact that he had to do that. We've only seen him use that before against Doflamingo, and that guy was super OP. What it does to me is and this guy Cracker is just one of Big Mom's 3 commanders, and he had to use Elephant Gun to beat him, or had to use Kong Gun, Gear 4th, to beat him. To me, it's a very good thing that he had to do that, because it scales Luffy's power to like somewhere, about at the level, I guess above the level of one of these commanders of a Yonko. I kind of wish he was a little bit weaker, to be honest. I wish that fight had taken a little longer. I don't want Luffy to be too strong. But it puts him in a good place in the, hierarchy of powers. Because I absolutely don't want Luffy to be able to just beat Big Mom. That would be terrible. Because we got years left And if Luffy could just beat Yonko now, it's a little too soon. But
Yeah,
I think Oda's doing a good thing.
I guess I understand what you're saying, but
I still share your frustration.
Yeah. But the whole thing with the powers, I think they mentioned, was his name, the Urouge.
Oh, Urouge.
He beat one of the 4, and now 3.
Man,
commanders, and I don't know
yeah.
where he is now. I think they said he was around here, or just he's left and he's gone somewhere.
That was by far the best part of the chapter for me, because it's another one of those things. Like, we have 3 commanders. Oh wait, we used to have 4, but this very important, or this notable character defeated the 4th, and now we've only got 3. I immediately want to know everything about this 4th guy. What happened? What did Urouge do? What made him the one who was able to beat him? And man, Urouge was by far the supernova that I thought would be the most boring and least interesting. Urouge, the mad monk from Sky Islands. But like, the little things Oda does, man. Like, the last time we saw him, he was on a cloud with his monk boys, and he watched Kaido, not knowing who it was, I don't think, just slowly walk to the edge of Sky Island and fall off, trying to commit suicide. And that was, like, the best thing that ever happened in One Piece. That was, like, my favorite thing. And he just, like, does a little prayer, like, rest in peace, my friend. We can't stop you. Have a good trip down to Earth. He just let that guy commit suicide, which I just think that was really cool. It gave him a lot of personality. And now we learned that, like, man, even Kid had to be chased away, but Urouge actually managed to beat one of these commanders of Big Mom. That's impressive. I don't know how he did it. He's got some sort of, like, get swole powers, I remember, from Shabondi.
Yeah, I think it was like when somebody punches him, he turns that damage into strength. So if you really punch him, he's going to get really big and punch you back.
If you say so, yeah. I don't really remember
something like that, but yeah. I think I like the fact that there's differing power levels for all these, like, the worst generation people, because like Urouge could actually end up being a really big player, whereas before he was just like on the level of everyone else.
And it's a little unfair, because we saw them fighting fucking Kizaru, who's like a light man, who's like the strongest person ever. His power is so unbelievably broken. I think he just shot Urouge with a laser or something, and
the
fucked
shoulder.
him. Yeah,
And he kicked him through a building or something. But he was fine.
Kizaru just fucking blew up one of the Shabondi archipelago trees. What a fucking asshole. I'm still mad. Excuse me. I'm still mad at him for that shit. Fuck. Oh, you know what else though? Like the time we saw Urouge before on the Sky Island. The last time we saw him was before the time skip, when him and his crew were arriving at that, like, island covered in lightning, and this little old lady's like, "Would you like to buy an umbrella?" And they're like, aight, nigga. Something like that. And I wonder if that was related to Big Mom. Wonder if that had anything to do with it. I'd like to know what's going on with that island, at any rate. I want to find out more. I love these characters. Please keep it coming, Oda.
I'm trying to find the speech bubble where they mention where Urouge might have gone. Because if he was on that cloud and then he went to Big Mom, he fought and killed or defeated one of their commanders. I think he killed them. It's implied that he's just not around anymore.
It's implied. I mean, he could have left, but I think it's deliberately ambiguous.
No, I mean, he could have killed the 4th commander instead of just beating him.
Yeah.
But he could.
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah, but Urouge could still be around. I think they mentioned something like that. So there's a possibility that Luffy could, or like the Straw Hats could, team up with him to try and take down Big Mom or fight a few battles or something, which would be pretty cool.
I'm seeing the word bubble here on page 11, and it says that was as far as he could take things, beating that commander. All he really accomplished was riling up Mama, and she sent Cracker to put him in his place. And that's the end. Then she just says, "No one escapes from this forest." Blah blah blah. She's just on to other things. So Cracker dealt with him. Who knows what that means? But I'm sure we'll find out. This is juicy
no one
stuff.
escapes from this. I'm sure his corpse is probably rotting off somewhere around here. So yeah, it's they don't know where he is, but he's around here somewhere.
Oh wow, I totally missed that. He's around. Oh, I hope he's relevant to this arc. That'd be awesome.
I hope he is. I mean, it's just sort of like it's a big island. He could be hiding somewhere.
It's true. Oh man, I'm super hyped now. I can't wait to see him. And of course, she just throws a ton of shade on all the supernovas. in saying, Capone, who joined their crew. They said they chased off Kid and shit, and Apu. Oh, I love just every time they mention the supernovas. It's so fucking awesome. But yeah, that was fucking fucking Brûlé was fucking going off, spitting some fire on them, and then Nami zapped her, which was awesome. It was
that
cool.
Was pretty
she
great.
did something. And I was saying this before. Let's touch on this for a minute. Does Nami have a cool personality still, or do you find her boring? I think she's kind of boring now. She doesn't do anything.
She hasn't done anything particularly interesting, I guess. Like she's got a cool power now with the extra Klimatect. We don't know exactly what it does,
cool.
but and she's generally still Nami with I don't know, something. She's I don't know. She was coolest in the hour-long arc when she was all like cheating and lying and stealing and being a bitch to save her village. But now that's way behind her, and now she's just sort of a sexy girl who kills guys and likes money, and that's about it.
I think of all the characters in the show, they shot Nami's wad the soonest, and it was a bit unfortunate. I don't think Oda had much planned for her. I mean, there's the whole draw world map, but, like, all the things she does chapter to chapter, like, none of them are particularly interesting. Like, continue to chart my maps. Okay, that's not that interesting. Gauge the weather and tell the ship what to do. Like, that's important. That's definitely important. I appreciate Nami as a navigator, but it's not, like, interesting, really.
I do like the parts where, like, I don't know, where was the... Certain times where there's like a really dangerous moment and the ship has to maneuver around all this stuff to get away from the Marines or something, and she's like, okay, here's my plan, and it put it into action. And it's like, oh yeah, we just got out. That's cool. I like that.
That's where Nami shines for sure. That's her best, most important, and she really is a very vital character. She can't like leave. I want her to have more personal drama. Like, the last thing she did that was even at all interesting, well, there was the thing with the kids in Punk Hazard, which I just didn't give a shit about. I didn't care. And before that, more interesting was, like, in Fishman Island, when she was, like, sort of reacting to the fact that Jinbei had sort of been the one who unleashed Arlong, and Jinbei was really... Like, I was like, Jinbei's not at fault, like, and she forgives him, of course. It was, but all that was to me was like an extension of the Arlong thing, which had pretty much already been wrapped up. And even Nami says, like, I'm over it, not a big deal. Well, that's how I feel. I'm over your problems, Nami. I need you to get some new ones that I can get invested in dramatically.
Yeah, I think
I don't know.
A lot of the things is that most of the time she's a straight man, so she's just talking about plans, thinking about what to do next, and yelling at Luffy for being an idiot. And she doesn't have, like, her own stupid things that she does, like, her
like the thieving
gimmick.
thing?
Her gimmick used to be, like, she was always wanting money, and it doesn't really come into play more than, like, just a joke. If there was, like a big pile of money and she was, like, really struggling to do her job or, like, go for the gold, that would be kind of interesting as a character thing.
You know what I want to see more of? Yeah, totally. Like, when Robin first showed up, and everyone was suspicious of her, and Robin, like, was doing things to win everybody over, and she just, like, gives Nami some jewels, and Nami had been, like, super wary of her, and she's just like, oh, I love you, Robin, you're my best friend now, after giving her, like, some of Crocodile's jewels. Like, that's what I want more of, real character, goofiness. I want imperfect characters. I don't want her to be just, like, oh, I'm the straight man, I do my job, and I react to the situation around me. She needs stuff, like, all the things that... One Piece is great, because it's a mix of comedy, and drama, and adventure, and action, but, like, Nami is missing some of those aspects. Nothing funny ever happens with Nami, ever.
I guess. A few funny things have happened.
Recently.
Yeah, but like, I think what the thing is that she hasn't made any huge mistakes recently. She hasn't done anything... and have it, like, fuck everyone over or fuck something over. She's never been in the wrong, or hasn't been in the wrong for a long time. And it's just sort of like, yeah,
True.
Okay, sure. There's always someone else that's fucking
that's
up.
That's actually a really good point. She's been, like, the perfect person since kind of, like, the end. Like, what has she done? She's forgiven Jinbei for doing basically nothing against her. Wow, how magnanimous. She helped a bunch of kids who were in trouble. Like, okay, but all right, fine. And like now, I don't know, she's gonna meet her friend Lola's mom. Yeah, let's have her fuck some shit up. That's what I want. That would be great. Let's hope she does that.
If she does go to Big Mom and then she gets like the Lola thing doesn't work at all, and then it gets taken away, and then she's really in trouble, and that causes somebody to have to go save her, which fucks up someone else's plan. That would be, I mean, it's a damsel in distress thing, but I don't know.
Oda, I think, right. I think you're right. Oda has a real chance with this whole Lola connection thing to do, because like Nami had this whole arc with like the pig in the wedding dress who wanted to marry men, and she tried to assassinate Nami, and then they became best friends because she told her that Nami was a man, and then Lola was her friend because that was her shadow. She could do something real cool with that now, or Oda could, and I just hope he doesn't keep treating Nami like a super perfect princess sexy girl, because that's boring, and there's plenty of other sexy girls I can look at in One Piece. Nami is a member of the Straw Hat Pirates. She needs to be interesting and cool, so do something good, Oda.
Yeah.
Alright, well, anyway. So what were we talking about?
Well, we were just talking about stuff that was happening. There was
Oh, you know what was cool? During Cracker's fight with Luffy, when Cracker did his pretzel sword attack, and he smashed Luffy, and Luffy went, like, smashing through a bunch of trees, all the trees were like, ah! Because their bodies were fucking exploding.
Oh, wait, I missed that. Where was that?
That was fairly early on, when Luffy's just fighting him, and he hits Luffy, and Luffy goes flying. He smashes through a bunch of trees, and the trees themselves are, like, writhing in agony. It was like
holy shit, yeah.
It was like their Holocaust. It was awesome. It was the coolest thing ever. That was a great moment. I like that the
now
I
know
the
why
whole
they were so afraid of when Cracker was about to get serious. It's like he's just going to destroy us with the scenery. It always happens in shonen.
You know, if you think about it, like really any bystander should be afraid when someone like Luffy or Zoro or any like big powerhouse starts fighting, because like there's going to be collateral damage. It just never happens. But now, because they're allowed to kill these like weird environment monsters, now we can see actual like death and collateral damage that would realistically happen when people are. And now with these fucking trees, man, it's their worst possible nightmare. They're all fucking dying. Except Luffy won. Okay, so they're dead dying. But I love it. This is the coolest. That's the first really cool thing that's been done with the fact that like the environment is alive. I'm really into it. I think it's awesome.
Yeah.
Anything cool? Pound was nice. Pound helped Nami. He's being a bro. Yeah. By the way, I was telling you this before. I bet he's called Pound because he pounds the shit out of Big Mom to make those babies. Right?
Yep.
Yeah, you totally...
You did it. You nailed
it. He totally does. Oh, he's nailing it. Know what I'm saying, doll? Awesome. Oh, okay. That's like all the substantive, because that last point was very substantive. That's all I've got, really. Any other comments to make?
No, not really. It was basically just a fighting thing. I mean, they did talk about like how there's loads of pirates who say, I'm gonna be the pirate king, and then they all fucking die, and you're just one of many. And
that's true. Yeah. It was very much a fighting heavy chapter, which are cool, but aren't as like interesting to talk about all the time. The point is Luffy wins, and you know, that was cool. I mean, the stuff I said at the beginning about Gear 4th I thought was interesting, but yeah, you're absolutely right. I forgot about that. It was interesting to hear. Right. The way Brule does her whole spiel about, like, you guys are from the worst generation, you're just a bunch of rookies, like, we're the Big Mom Pirates, we're one of the Yonko crews, we have fucked your boys up many times, don't go getting big heads, there's a million rookies who say they're going to be king of the pirates, we're the real deal, and then at the end, having Luffy defeat Cracker, who Brule, like, has painted as someone who no other rookie has been able to beat so far. I think Oda's making a little point about, hey, these guys are looking like the real deal as well. And I like that. It was a good turnaround. Way to go, Oda.
Yeah, it's getting hype. I'm interested to see where Luffy goes after this.
Yeah.
He's gonna be mad, obviously. He's gonna be charging. You might find another commander. I don't know what's gonna happen after that. But like, the fact that the Cracker fight didn't take very long is also quite good. I don't
Man,
want the
Luffy
fights to
really
take...
looks like he was... Yeah, go on.
I don't really want the fights to take too long, like at the beginning, because usually at the beginning it's sort of... They're getting everybody introduced and stuff, and everybody... There's a moment usually in every arc where everybody's all scattered around and they all have a different goal, and they're fighting a different person, and that's my favourite. That's when everything's like, oh shit, they all going around, they're having their fights, and then they all come together at the end, and there's a big old cool thing that happens usually. Like for Enies Lobby, it's when everybody was up, when the 5 of them were up on the thing, and they were looking at Robin. That was the coolest like culmination part. Love that shit.
I like when Luffy was fighting Crocodile at the same time that everybody else in Alabasta was trying to defuse the bomb, and then Pell did his thing, and they lived. That's good stuff. But like there's a certain pattern that arcs go. And I personally wouldn't mind if Oda maybe those big fights at the end a little bit shorter. Like the Doflamingo one was a bit much.
Well, yeah, definitely. The Doflamingo... also the fact that Doflamingo is like apparently so strong that he can take multiple Kong punches and still...
Why is he so strong? He's just a tall dude. He's just a tall man. It's dumb. Like, he's no fucking... He's a manipulator. Okay, I'm just gonna rant about this for a minute. I have such a problem with the fact that Doflamingo was like so fucking tough, because he's not characterized that way. He's characterized as a manipulator and like a string puller and like a behind the scenes kind of guy. And also he's by far the strongest character we've seen in the series. It's like, come on, dude, come on. I guess it's a shonen.
It's sort of like that one Batman game where the Joker. The final boss, the Joker just becomes a big brute with muscles.
Yes, yeah, it's exactly like that. And Oda,
like,
I think you did a disservice to yourself. I think it would have been much better if that whole arc had been about... Oh god, this pisses me off. I think I've talked about this before. Actually, probably not in the show. But
not in the show.
Doflamingo's biggest problem... one of the biggest problems I had about the whole Doflamingo arc was that Doflamingo, many times throughout the series, was clearly shown capable of controlling vast numbers of people with his, like, parasite strings. And he just does that, and he just controls them. And there has been no way to avoid it shown in the series. He even controlled Diamond Jaws, who was able to lift a glacier the size of a fucking mountain and throw it at I don't know, the Shichibukai or whoever, like the admirals, during... the big war. And the fact that he was able to just instantly control Jaws and make him unable to move, but he didn't instantly do that to Luffy or Law. And the whole time I was saying, like, just all you need to do, dude, is say that, like, Luffy's, Hao Shoku Haki is too strong. His Conqueror's Haki is too strong. And the same with Law. Just say they've got that. Say there's a reason why they couldn't be controlled by Doflamingo. And Oda never fucking did. And then at the end of the series, after the end of the fight, after Luffy and Daffy had been fighting for like 100 fucking chapters, then when Luffy's like all fucking dead, Doflamingo like manipulates him like a little, he starts controlling him, and Luffy just like snaps them? Like, what? Why couldn't Jaws do that? Why the fuck couldn't anyone do that up to this point? And you're just introducing this now? Okay, my point is that arc should have been about how Duffy has this ability to control, like, anyone at any time. And the whole sugar thing was great with the toy people, but there also should have been a thing about how the real plan was how to avoid Doflamingo's string manipulation power. Maybe they needed some kind of super suit. Maybe they needed to use Kairoseki in important ways. But the point is, Doflamingo should not have been a ridiculously strong powerhouse man. He should have been a fucking twink who's just... I mean, he could be a little bit strong, but it should have been about finding ways to intelligently deal with his problem, because that would have made his power... Like, forget the birdcage. The birdcage was retarded. It didn't even make sense. Who was controlling it? Was he doing that while fighting Luffy and doing, like, a million other things at once? It doesn't make any sense. It should have just fucking been how to avoid his personal, like, body control thing.
I think the fact that... I think what caused all that like bullshit and weird like huge fights was the fact that the setting and the idea of the Colosseum clashed with the idea of Doflamingo. Like because the idea was Luffy was getting a big army, he was getting all the Colosseum guys, and then also like if you had a huge amount of really strong guys running around, you can't really have a stealth operation trying to get Doflamingo. So it has to be a huge fucking fight at the end. But Doflamingo, doesn't fit him. So like the Colosseum should have been somewhere else.
Well, okay,
it should have been with like some other person, or I don't know. Like,
You know, I think it kind of makes sense, because I think it makes sense for Doflamingo to have, like, control over tons of really strong dudes. And I think it would have been better if he had, like, just really strong foot soldiers, which he did. His crew was pretty dope.
well,
all in all.
actually, now I think about it, it does.
Yeah.
It could have worked. Like if
Mm-hmm.
the idea was he's got Luffy's getting all these allies and stuff, and he's coming up and charging Doflamingo, and then he just starts controlling them and makes them fight Luffy or
Mm-hmm.
fight each other. It's like, oh shit, the more powerful guys we have, the more dangerous it is.
All I'm saying is that, to me, was always the real threat Doflamingo posed. And at the end, what do we get? Oh my god, he can turn the entire cities into fucking strings? Holy shit! Like, there's no need, Oda, to introduce this, like, awakening string power. Like, just be smart and be thoughtful. You've already introduced this incredibly powerful ability Doflamingo has. And it seems like he just fucked up, in my personal opinion. But it's water under the bridge now. We're past it. And Gear 4th was awesome. I love Gear 4th, which is relevant to this chapter. I think Gear 4th is like the coolest thing ever. He looks like a fucking badass. He's really strong in those. He can like fly for some reason. Gear 4th rules.
It's really like the perfect combination of badass and completely hilarious. Goofy
Yes, which is perfect for One Piece. Yes.
Yeah. Fucking
it's the best.
Gorilla Punch, Kong Gun. Stupid names, but it's the greatest. I love them.
I love the goofy, serious stuff. And the fact that when he's Gear 4th, he literally cannot stop bouncing. He's just always bouncing. That is the funniest thing in the world to me, and I love it. And, like, he does that in the middle of fighting Doflamingo. Oh, that's the good stuff. I need as much of that as possible, please, Oda. Okay, we got off on a tangent, but I think we're done now. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And we will see you... oh, God. We'll see you next week. Goodbye!
See ya!